So hey guys, today's tutorial is about some tips and tricks in Silhouette. First one is color timeline. Okay, I'm just going to create a session here. Let's rename this. Okay, tip number 1, because there are some other tips to follow up. So tip number 1 and creating a template. I'm just creating a roto template. Okay, so here we have a roto template, a roto node over this footage. Okay, so I'm just going to create some shapes. For that I need object list. So I'm just keeping the object list this side. For my convenience, you can keep it according to you. So I have created a layer. Now I will just rename that layer. Renaming is very important. So straight away I'm just going to draw a shape inside that, drawing a shape for this window. So renaming is very important when you do big chunk of roto work. Okay, creating yet another layer, drawing one more shape inside that of this window. So I'm just drawing the shape here. This is not consistent. I mean, this is not so much accurate shapes and all. This is just for demonstrative purpose. Yet another shape in yet another layer. Creating all these layers because to show you the differentiation of color in the timeline too. So yet another shape. This will be the final shape because there are 4 windows and I'm just going to demo like drawing shapes over these 4 windows. So right now I'm renaming all the layers. We have 4 layers with 4 splines, so renaming it as windows 1 2 3 4. Okay, so yeah, now the spline is ready. I'm just going to change the color, so keeping the same color for layer and spline so that it's easy for us to understand. For changing the color, you can click on this left click, you can see a set of colors, or if you want more colors you can click on that and you can create custom colors. Now we cannot see like any changes in the timeline. Okay, for changing the color or getting this color in the timeline, we need to change some properties. First I will just reduce the frame range into 5 frames. Okay, okay, now what we can do is like we already gave color to this layer and spline, so we need to take that into the timeline. For that I already told we have to change some properties in the preferences. Okay, so what I can do is like yeah, we can see timeline, there are no changes. I'm just arranging the timeline now. Like we can click on these arrows, okay, so that it will be arranged properly. Now we can see there are totally 4 layers which is there in the object list. Go into the preferences. Okay, now in the user interface option you can see colored timeline tracks. Just check this option and click on apply. Okay, now we can see the timeline is colored according to the layer color. Okay, this is very interesting. Now we can see we can give yet another color here and the timeline got the same color of the layer. So this is very handy when you do big chunk of roto work to differentiate the layers in the timeline. Okay, moving on to the next one. It's all about obtaining best performance from the software or Silhouette 2020. So it's very important to obtain great performance from machine for this specific software while doing roto and paint. So for that we need to change some settings. Just go into preference and here we can find GPU. So automatically it is assigned as auto, so that machine will automatically select. You can choose GPU or CPU according to your system performance and according to your machine. So I have selected GPU because I have got GPU in my machine. So yeah, that's it. Now machine or the software will obtain performance from these graphic processors. Also you can go into the NVIDIA control panel settings. You can right click in your desktop to get the settings. Okay, inside that manage 3D settings. So we can see here like we can assign which is the graphics processor which should work on the specific software. This is a global settings. I have kept high performance NVIDIA processor. Go into the program settings. Here we can see we can assign specific graphic processor for specific softwares. I have selected Silhouette and I have assigned high performance NVIDIA processor, not the integrated graphics. This helps in the performance. So click on this apply and all done. Now moving on to the next one. So here we have script editor and all the Python programming in Silhouette as well. If you guys are good in Python programming, you can load one script also. You can execute some Python commands inside Silhouette. Even we can create one more script editor. I don't know what is the use of this, but there is an option like that. So also if you go into window, we can see console. This is the window where we can see the result of the commands which we type in the Python. Moving on to the next one. So here I have a footage and I'm going to create a session for that. Okay, so already you guys we have dual monitor or dual viewer setup in Silhouette 2020, but I'm going to increase the efficiency of that workflow. So like I have watched many tutorials in YouTube, but there is a tip that if you make use of, it will improve your workflow. So I'm just going to draw a shape here, not creating a layer because this is just for demonstrative purpose, but when you do a professional roto, always create a layer. And also we have this feather handles which is sometimes pretty irritating, so I'm just going to turn off that feather handle so that we can see the edges more precisely while doing the roto. I mean, there should be a shortcut for turning on and off the feather handles. Just go into shape. Yep, now we can see show feather handles, uncheck that, apply. So it's clean now. Now we can see the edges very precisely. I have done the roto. Click on this plus icon and now the dual viewer is ready. So dual viewer is like very important while you do roto. You can see the window, see the spline in one viewer. You can see the alpha or the color overlay in another window. So this is pretty useful when you do roto especially. Yeah, now Paint also have some benefits. I will explore on that and I will make a specific tutorial for that also. So this is not a tutorial for dual viewer. This is a trick to make the dual viewer setup efficient. So here I have a roto. Like when I move the roto, viewer, this viewer 1, that is not affecting the viewer 2. So when I do a roto for this stone and I change this like this, it's not updating in the viewer 2. So that creates a problem. For that, just go into the preferences and in the viewer, synchronize viewers, one option is there. Click on that and apply. So what it deal is like whenever you change something in the viewer 1, it is automatically affecting the viewer 2, so that we don't have to manually go and drag the viewer 2 according to the viewer 1. Like whenever you do the roto, yeah, we can just straight away do the roto and go and just watch that differences or watch the updates in the viewer 2 also. So this is pretty handy, right? So I'm just rotoing it here, like yeah, it's automatically updated in the viewer 2 and we can see the edges also. Yep, there are some issues, there are some refresh rate issues, but I think this option is very handy. Just go into viewer and click on this synchronize viewers, and the viewers, your views are synchronized. Okay, the last one. So here I have a footage. Instead of dragging that, I'm just going to create a session in the option here, session, new session, or we can press Ctrl N. Now, yeah, new session. Now I'm just going to rename it as tip number 5. Okay, here we have a session here. This trick is about obtaining the correct or obtaining the same result from tracking as in Mocha. So in Mocha, most of the people use a subtractive method to avoid interactions before track. So same trick we can use here. So I am going to track this BG. So just drawing a spline over in the BG. Okay, this shape is fine. So I just want to track the BG. Okay, so I'm just not going to create a layer here. In the latest version, we can straight away track. It will automatically create a layer here. So no worries, like in older versions, if it is not inside a layer, it will not track. Yep, now we have tracked, and let's check the accuracy of the track. Okay, the spline is moving according to the movement of FG character. So we are not able to get a track for the BG specifically behind her. So I will use a method for for obtaining a track. So I will just show you the difference of how the track looks like. Okay, it's not good over there in the BG which we want a track. It's not good. Okay, we have to select this layer and we have to draw a shape in this BG. Now let's see. Now let's play and see. Okay, it's not good. We didn't got a track for the BG. Now I'm going to draw a shape here. Let's see. It's syncing. So we drawn a shape for the BG and we got track for the FG. So we have a method here that if you follow that, you will get the track accuracy even more better. So I have created another layer for the BG. Now I will show you the method and we will get some kind of good results. Let's see. So let's create a layer and rename it as master. Okay, this is a master layer which is for the BG, or you can rename it as BG as well. So just another shape for the FG character. So this is, if I tell accurately, this is for subtracting. So this is a subtractive shape. So I will create a layer and rename it as sub. Okay, create the blending mode, subtract. Now we subtracted that matte. Okay, so I'm adjusting, I'm creating the roto perfectly so that all the FG will be subtracted. So now we have got two splines in two different layers. Select the master layer, hold control and select sub layer. So always remember this, select the master layer, hold control and click on sub. So now go into the tracker. Now let's track and see how it is coming. Okay, let's wait because it is taking some time. Now I hope the track is coming perfect, right? Now let's see how the track came. It's good, I guess. So let's draw a shape and see how it is coming. Let's draw a shape here. Okay, now the track is assigned to the BG, or we got a track according to the BG. Now let's play and see. Yeah, now our BG track is ready. So a subtractive shape helps us to get tracking perfectly.